Hey, so tonight, episode 46. So, who's the guest, Renee?
My dear friend Christina and fellow dog brother.
Ah, so, anything you want to say about her before we bring her up?
Um, no, I think this is one of those we just go all gas, no brakes, and kind of just jump in.
Okay, sounds good. I will bring her up. And, folks, if you're watching, tell us where you're watching from. Smash that like button. If you got questions, put them in the comment section. I will definitely see them and get to them.
Guys,
Hello.
It's about time. Been trying to get you on here for a while.
I know. Here I am.
Excellent. Have you ever seen Dean before or met Dean? Because
No,
if you haven't, I'll apologize now.
no. Nice to meet you, Dean. No, I know who you are, Dean. I've just never met you.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Yeah, same
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
You're in
but
Texas, correct?
yeah. I'm in Austin. Yeah. So can I tell a story about how I met Renee really quick? Because I have questions.
Sure.
Okay. So long ago, before time had a name, I went to this kick the crap out of cancer event, and I met Renee, and then he fought, and it was a gnarly fight. It was really bad. And as I recall, you got pretty fucked up. You were
Yeah,
bleeding all over the mat, and you
nice.
you went down on one knee really dramatically. And I thought, well, we need to call EMS. And you like lifted up this disgusting bloody hand, and there was a ring in it, and you proposed. You proposed to your now wife. Did I,
Yes.
did I dream that?
No, no, that was true. Yeah, that was. And then after she said yes, I finished off the fight because it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
To
But
this day,
actually,
I've been thinking
to
about that.
backtrack, we actually met in New Mexico when we were down there training.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. For the Cabri seminar. I
Yeah,
forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like you guys heard about Beat the Crap and came up. This is back
Right.
when Beat the Crap would bring in, like 50, 60, 70 fighters, sometimes more.
Yeah.
It was a pretty crazy time. But yeah, yeah, that was kind of fun. I didn't expect the um, the sword to go through my mask, but yeah, it was pretty good.
I don't know. I was like, did he orchestrate that? Like, maniac. Were you bleeding on purpose? Is that for a set?
The plan was to survive enough to propose, and then afterwards to kind of keep going. But
It was
yeah,
cute,
it was
though. It was
good.
really cute. Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think part of the thing we wanted to kind of chat about is we briefly chatted about last week with self defense. The bullshit of self defense when it comes to some of the women's stuff that's going on out there. Just the hocus pocus of martial arts and all that nonsense as well. Um, and kind of Dean and I feel the same way that people just kind of lost touch with reality and prefer Hollywood over reality.
Yeah.
And like in that even comes into our stick fighting realm, um, or weapons fighting realm. And I think it's just time to kind of like, no, it's not time. I think it's just opening a discussion and seeing, again, these are our opinions, but there's some stuff out there, and especially when it came to women's self defense. Why not ask, number one, someone who fights, and number two, someone who's a woman?
Yeah.
this crazy concept.
Yeah. Okay. So I see two
But
things.
before
Oh,
we
yeah.
start, can you just give me a little bit of your history, like martial arts wise,
Yeah.
uh, your
So
roller derby days?
sure. So yeah, I played roller derby for a long time, and I retired so that I could become a stunt woman. And I was getting, booked for fight scenes. I kept on getting booked for, like sword fighter, cannibal, zombie, but it was always, look at me, right? So, So I thought, well, I better learn some skills if I'm going to translate this on screen and make it look believable. I didn't know anything about martial arts at the time. I knew nothing about martial arts. I didn't even know that was an option for me. I mean, I started late. I was 43 the first time I walked into a martial arts studio. And I walked into a Muay Thai class, and as luck would have it, Jason Webster was teaching the class. And
Nice.
that was like winning the lottery, the fight lottery, because I think he's really the best Muay Thai teacher, in the country. And so I just ended up falling in love with Muay Thai and just kind of putting stunt work to the side, because I just discovered I really have an aptitude for fighting. This is what I should have been doing my whole life. I wish that this was an option when I was younger, but it wasn't. So
Which I think is great too, because I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say, "Oh, you're too old to do this," or "You're too old to do that." It's like, just do me a favor, just shut the fuck up.
I probably am too old to do this, but I mean, I'm doing it, so here I am. But,
like Dean told me, like I'm way too old to be in a podcast and all this other stuff, and I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, and he said, let's give it a shot.
It gave you a chance.
No, I mean, I think that if you're like an over 40 man, it's kind of a rule that you have to have a podcast now. Like it's
well, Dean has several. Yes, several.
Yeah, it's a guy thing. You all have fun.
Yeah. Anyways, keep going.
Oh no! So no, I did Muay Thai for a while, and one day, Jason showed up to the gym, and he had these like big, heavy rattan sticks, and he said, I think you'd be good at weapons. We should spar. And I was like, okay, that's insane. Okay, let's do it. So we start sparring, and he beat the shit out of me. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a roof. I didn't have nothing. But like one thing I figured out was, okay, number one, getting hit with a stick really sucks, and it doesn't feel good, but it's not going to kill you. It's not that bad. And then the second thing I noticed was that, like, every time I would come in with my little weak strike, he would dip his head and he would strike my leg. And he did that over and over. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to choose my moment. And I feigned a strike, and he dipped his head. And I just brought that stick down on him, just like with all the force in my body. And it just cracked. And you could just hear it across the gym. And everything got really quiet. And then there was blood. And then he goes, "God damn it, Christina, I think you cracked my skull." And
I can hear his voice too.
The feeling that went through me in that moment was kind of amazing. I thought,
and some
this
people
is what I got to do.
Jason Webster, if people don't know, he is, like you said, he's one of the top Muay Thai coaches, as far as I'm concerned, that I've ever come across. He was Tim Kennedy's Muay Thai coach when he was in the UFC.
Yeah.
And I think multiple fighters as well, and his knowledge of Krabi Krabong is just out there.
Well, he's the first person, he's the first American to earn a gold sash in Kabri in Thailand. The very first one, I think in the 90s. So yeah, he's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he performed for the King and a whole bunch of other stuff too, which I think my introduction to Jason was when he kicked me and I couldn't breathe, and I had to go to the chiropractor and have my spine roll on because he knocked my vertebrae out of spot.
So we knew him back in the old days. So like everybody knows Jason now as this kindly grand coach, but back when I was training with him, like he would send you home limping. Like your ego would be destroyed back then because he was using the old Thai ways, but you learned fast, and he was a great coach.
And he's also he was also Arlen Sanford's Caribbean instructor next to Paul Crew. Yeah.
Right.
So very, very, very talented person. Yeah. So sorry, go ahead. You went from there?
Oh, so I, from that point on, all I wanted to do was stick fight. But of course, nobody was stick fighting. We don't have like a stick fighting community in Austin. But Jason started telling me about Dog Brothers. He started explaining the history to me, and he started showing me instructional videos. And so I started learning from there. And one person that really struck out at me, one instructor in these videos, was really inspirational to me because I'm clearly I'm 6 feet tall. I have a 6 foot arm span. And that was always a liability to me in my sports, in my athletic history, because like in roller derby, that is not a bonus. That gets you in the penalty box. In CrossFit, height does not help you. So I was always apologizing for my height. But anyway, I saw this instructor, and he was built like me. He's long and lanky, and he was just using his height so beautifully and his distance. And of course, that was Eric, right? So he just kind of became my, spirit animal. I've never met him, but thank you, Eric. You're cool. But he inspired me. Like he was the one that showed me basically, wow, having reach is good, in fighting, because I had no idea. I had no experience with fighting. But after that, I just wanted to compete. So I just signed up for every FMA competition that I could find, and it didn't matter if it was 6 hours away. I would drive to it. I didn't have anybody cornering me. I didn't have a coach, and I would just show up and I would fight. And that's how I learned. That's how I cut my teeth.
Yeah, it's awesome. I remember you coming to Beat the Crap, and it's just fun when you watch, because everybody's, like 5'8".
Yeah.
You get the odd 6 foot person, and you can see it's like, oh, there's Christina. And then you guys used to do all those multiple people fights too, which I thought was kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that Kick the Crap was one of my first fights ever. So I was probably petrified. I barely even remember that day. But I think
that's the same. I think that's the same year that Arlen knocked me out when he and I fought. So, because he was there.
Not so many times. I can't believe you can remember. Like.
Wait, this is live?
How do you know? What's your name?
How do I turn this magic box off?
I mean, we've all got TBI. So.
Yeah, it was funny. Someone sent me a one of those Renee is with whatever, like Kalani, and it's like 2008, and we're at the gathering, and I was like, wow, that was a long, long time ago. That was like 16 plus years ago, and that we were ready. Like we were fighting almost every weekend at that point. So, yeah, I think the car accidents were just a way for me to slow down a bit. Actually, Dean and I got to play a little bit in my basement. He keeps talking about this one thing, but he actually hurt me real bad. And that's why one of the other reasons I'm retiring from stick fighting.
You've been saying that you're retiring for like 6 years. You just need to shut your mouth.
I'm working on it. Working on it. It's a work in progress.
Cool.
All right. So then you went from, you started taking some JKD and stuff as well, right?
Yeah. So, from that point on, I wanted to learn FMA footwork. I wanted to learn strikes. I wanted to learn blocking, and there just wasn't anybody here that could teach that. But JKD, 20% of their curriculum was stick fighting, so I just suffered through the rest. And I'm sorry, guys that are JKD people. I was there for the stick fighting, and they taught me a lot. They taught me the footwork. They taught me all of that. And I did that for a few years, and I really started getting into competitions. But when I started fighting, the FMA world is pretty patriarchal. They don't like women fighting with men. So I would show up to these fights. I mean, I would drive 6 hours. Maybe 2 women had signed up, and then they wouldn't show up. So I'd be sitting there on the sidelines, and I'd be watching men enjoy a full day of fighting while I'm sitting there, on my ass. And so I just didn't feel like it was fair. So eventually I started only doing open divisions, or I would just pitch it to the host this way and say, look, guys, this is not a weight class fight. We're not going to the ground. We're not kicking. This is a soft stick. What are you going to do to me with a soft stick? What's the worst that can happen? Just let me fight. And usually they'd let me fight. And then, I'd start winning. So, it was pretty fun. But I mean, over time, I kind of started liking fighting men, not because like I have a chip on my shoulder, but just because it's fun fighting people who are bigger and stronger than you because it makes you more technical. It keeps you on your toes. And
Well, it makes sense to me, right? Like the way I remember when the discussions were being held about, like letting women fight men or whatever, and my whole thing was, well, women are more likely going to be attacked by a man, so why not allow them to deal with that kind of energy instead of just like, you know, let's make it safe, which is
no,
not the way I.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And like so much of martial arts, the way that it's pitched to women is so much different than the way that it's pitched to men. I mean, like, why do men sign up for martial arts? Why do you think they sign up for martial arts? Because it's fun, right? For the most part. Or
Yeah,
because
I had my own reasons, right? So I never, for me, but I guess the average Joe is to sit there and have a few pints and say I did a Muay Thai class or something, right? I don't know.
you're doing it to silence your lambs, whatever.
Hmm.
But I mean, that's why men do it. Women usually have it pitched to them through fear. Okay, it's all fear based, you know. And it's never martial arts is fun. It's just you're going to be attacked as you're walking to your car. Don't walk after midnight. Put your keys between your fingers like Wolverine. Because that works. So it's all fear, fear, fear. And I'm like, look, okay, every woman has been assaulted, right? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be edgy, but it's true. It's a sad fact. I mean, every single woman. And most of those are never going to go to court because no woman wants to get dragged through the legal system. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing it. Like, we all want to change the narrative. We all want to see that happy ending where the woman fights back and puts the guy in the hospital. We love that story. How do we do that, right? How do we get more women into martial arts? Like, I don't think workshops are the answer. I think workshops are good for getting your foot in the door.
Hmm.
What I don't like is the idea of some coach pitching a workshop. A 24-hour workshop is supposed to teach a woman self-defense. You're not going to learn self-defense in a weekend. You know that. And they're teaching women.
It's like a 2-hour thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
To retain this information that you
Right. And I mean,
It's it's like the first time I jumped out of an airplane. I took this 8-hour course to jump out with a static line. It didn't matter if I learned anything or what it did. I was
yeah,
just like I was going to be safe. Well, safe.
right.
Um, Maybe I could have practiced the landing a bit more. But no, I totally agree. Like, what's the point of these 2-hour things? For most of the time I've seen it, it's a cash grab.
I
Or
I think it is for the most part. I know that people are teaching some good workshops, good for them. But I don't think that workshops are the answer. And we all know that, like, in a live pressure situation, like, after step 3, technique goes out the window, right? Like, in a live, if you're in a street fight, right? You're not thinking about which direction your toes are pointed or that your thumb is up or down. You're not thinking about techniques. You're just surviving. So when they're teaching women these 12-step knife disarms, come on, guys. You're going to teach a woman defang the snake in a weekend, and she's supposed to go and use that, and she's not going to get pressure tested. She's not going to practice it. I think that's irresponsible. I think they're teaching too many steps. Maybe they're trying to kind of put their trademark on some multi-step thing. I think that you really need to keep it simple when you're
I
teaching.
used to. So back in the day, I used to help my instructor Makoto. He used to train he used to have these weekend seminars, women's self defense seminars, and we had the body suits with all that stuff, and it was basically a crusty motorcycle helmet, and I would take off most of my gear so I could move because I wanted to really like people know that I'm going to do things. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to throw you on the ground. I am going to try to punch you. I don't get there and go, here it comes. Here it comes over there. Oh, good job. And I had to stop because I got infuriated with the fact that it started becoming like a social thing. People
Yeah,
are going there and it's smiling and laughing. It's like, it's like, And here is your complimentary Fox 40 whistle when you leave, because
Oh, the whistle.
you have a you have a better chance of having a harmonica in your mouth getting some attention than you do from a Fox 40. I'm sorry, I can't. Maybe if you're in the woods.
Growing up, I was told you need to carry a pink rape whistle because that's going to help. Really, so I can look like a band director while I'm getting attacked. Is that gonna really? And what's your plan B if you blow on my whistle? Oh, you're not going to teach me what to do after that if the whistle doesn't work.
Hey, how about this? You get punched in the mouth while you have that whistle in your mouth. You know what's going to happen?
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's the same thing with Kubotons and shit like that. Remember when the Kuboton became this really oh yeah, it's an amazing thing, and it's like, well, what would you do? Everybody's going through a room. It's like, oh, you hit a person here, or you hit a person here, and I said, you know what? When you smash someone in the mouth with it in the teeth, or you hit someone in the eye with that, it usually tends to slow people down a little bit. I'm not saying it's over, but it does slow them down. And then it's like, oh, liability. Can't teach that. Can't talk about that. Liability issues. And I think that's probably the problem as well. Is like if you want to teach people to
Yeah.
defend yourself, you have to realize that whole liability shit. Like if you're that worried about training people to defend themselves, then maybe you shouldn't be teaching them.
No, I agree. But I mean, if you're going to tell people to stick keys through their fingers, why not tell them to carry a knife? No, really. Why not carry a knife? Put a knife on your keychain.
Where did that come from, Dean? Do you know where that came from at all? The whole keys and.
No, I honestly don't. But as we
And I'm
were
not
talking
saying that
about,
because you're older than me. I'm just asking you a legitimate question.
yeah, I don't know. Last week we were talking about the industry needs a
Maybe
complete.
they don't tell women that anymore. I know I heard that growing up. Maybe they don't say that anymore.
We got a question from
It's a
Chris.
thing. What are your thoughts on the industry buzzword empowerment? That's funny because I hate that word. That word gives me the fucking creeps. When I hear the word empowerment, I feel like somebody's trying to sell me a tampon. It just. Yeah. But no, I mean, and also, when you were teaching self-defense, did you feel like women were really using their full force?
Well, let's just say I know how to get under people's skin.
Okay, that makes sense.
And sometimes I would say things to piss people off.
Okay.
One of the things that I did, and again, this is probably one of the reasons I stopped doing these or was invited to be a guest body, was where I remember one particular incident when there was a group of people that were there, and these women were like laughing back and forth, and I started getting really annoyed, just because I just kind of felt like if you're going to be here, you should at least be paying attention.
For sure.
And I just kind of walked up and I was like, oh, it's, a lot of fun stuff, really funny stuff we're doing today, self-defense, and then I started going into my whole Renee spiel and being a jerk. And basically I said, what's funny is that you're laughing about protecting yourself, but if you're the only thing that's separating me from your daughter, would you be laughing right now?
Right.
And then that whole thing was like, what did you say to me? And I was like, okay, have a nice day. And I felt that I had to get that way in order to get people to realize what we're doing, right? It's the same thing with knife stuff. Dean, as far his knife knowledge is second to none. When it came to knives, I would have a cutting class where we're cutting like pig legs, just so people understand what a knife will actually do.
Right.
Just a half-ass swing, you're cutting that pig leg 3-4 inches in. And it was just kind of like seeing if I can get the lights to turn on. And, I don't know, I've been stabbed a few times. I didn't see it coming, and it's not like it's going to be in the movies. And, I don't know. I just, there's a disconnect between reality and what people are training. And I think that's what my biggest beef is with martial arts right now, with anything. I was just watching some dude who I won't say what his name is, but let's just say he is a large gentleman who,
I know
whenever he moves, he sounds like he's, gasping for air, and he's talking about fight. And I'm like, dude, the only thing you're fighting is diabetes, and you need to stop with your bullshit.
Renee,
Because
you need to come out of your shell.
I'm working on it. Rahel says the same thing. But it's like, that's why I had to, like, literally, there's people that were friends of mine, and I cannot. I had to remove them from my social media platforms because I'm tired of the videos that they post, and it's like all for the likes and the clicks and the look, million views of bullshit. Like, it's like, what is this?
I
It's
will tell you,
garbage.
I've had I've had interactions with the guy that you're talking about at FMA competitions, and it was pretty funny because
I was going to ask if it was a Taco Bell, but that's good.
I so my fight partner Sadie St. Clair and we fight together,
Mhm.
and we went to an FMA competition, and they allowed us to fight with men because again, there wasn't a weight class. We're not going to the ground, and he was the one coach there that really, really had a problem with us being there, and he voiced it to the host, and he was complaining the entire time that we were there that we should not be fighting men, and then we beat his guys, and that was that, and we took the trophy. Yeah,
It just, I don't get it. I don't understand. Listen, my daughter, both my kids are in BJJ right now. My daughter's class, she's the only girl in the class, and the boys are a bunch of ruffians. And she's like, it is what it is, right? It's the same with my kid.
I love seeing that. I think
My son's the smallest kid in his class. He's the youngest kid in this class, and every day I just tell him, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, it is what it is. Life's not fair, and you're gonna go every day whether you like it or not, because I see how much it's helped them, and I just said, remember, right now they're the ones giving the beatings, but one day that's gonna change, and a big smile comes to his face, which I think he gets that from his mom. So it's, I think it's really important, and I think even for my daughter, the fact that she's dealing with people who are a hell of a lot stronger, but she's not an easy pushover, and that's, I want to raise wolves. I don't, and I'm glad that my kids are feral. It's a pain in the ass sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, but I'd rather have feral kids than some compliant sheep that are afraid when they hear the fire alarm. Like, no, not a chance. We stick fight. But it's not called stick fight. It's
right.
like, oh,
It's a game.
it's this game, and yeah, I have a soft stick, and you guys have a real one, and this is fun for daddy, right? But it's just, anyways, and I think that's what it comes down to.
My poor son grew up in an FMA gym, so he grew up that way.
Yeah, your son just won. Didn't he?
Yeah, he just got bronze in a HEMA competition in Dagger. So
Nice.
yeah, I tried to get him for years into FMA with me, but I mean, again, though, I don't blame him. Like, what adolescent boy wants to do what his mom does? Like, lame, right? Like, what could be more uncool than that?
What you do is you tell him that, hey, that guy over there just insulted me, and he said some really unsavory things.
Yeah, no, but you know what got him was medieval weapons, because he is totally into that. I mean, he could give a TED talk on like armor and poleaxes and all that stuff. So, but apart from being a big martial arts nerd, he's just a natural fighter. He just really loves fighting, and it's great because I got to watch him in competition this weekend, and I was like, oh my god, that is me. That is so me. Except he's 6'4" and 220 pounds. But he does all the same shit that I do. The same asshole.
He's 6'4", 220 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's weird because in pictures, when I look at pictures, it's just like when I first met Mike Tibbetts. And Mike Tibbetts, 6'4", like 300 and some odd pounds.
Yeah.
And then when I first met him, I was like, oh, that seems like a lovely fellow. And in my head, I was the same height. And it wasn't until someone showed me a picture where I was like, who's that small child beside him? Oh, that's me. But in the pictures that you posted, like, your son looks, he looks like, hey, like happy, like small little kid, but he's massive.
He's massive.
That's awesome.
Massive boy. I'm very proud. Yeah. I'm just happy he's fighting.
But I think in time, I think sometimes it just takes the right motivation. Like my kids have been to plenty of gatherings when they were still in diapers. When I was my favorite picture is me holding my daughter with my nose pointing that way.
Oh God.
and but my daughter used to come to all my class. My son used to come to all my classes. Eventually, that kind of I don't know, it bleeds in.
Yeah.
So, anyways, going back to self defense.
Yeah.
What do we need? What do we need to change?
I think we need to make it more fun for women. I mean, if I could impart, anything, it's that martial arts isn't just for self-defense. I mean, it can be your lifelong passion. It's so much fun. I wish that I had had this when I was younger. And if you've got that little voice in your head that's saying, "No, I can't do this," I didn't train as a fighter when I was young, or I wasn't athletic in high school. Well, guess what? I wasn't either, and I didn't start till I was 43. So, I mean, you can do it too. I think we need to make it more inclusive and say that everybody can do it, and also, I mean, come on, look, every woman has thought about it. You've heard your wife complain about it. Like, when with your boss or this asshole in a F-150 that's honking at you in traffic, every woman has thought, oh my God, I want to punch that guy in the face, right? Every woman, right? Well, you can't do that. But wouldn't it be fun to learn how to do it? Like, wouldn't it be fun to have the knowledge that I could punch that guy in the face. I know exactly how, but to do it in a controlled, safe environment, that's fun. I mean, fighting is a whole lot of fun. And I wish more women understood that.
I think if there's one thing I'll say about Daw Brothers that a lot of people that I've met over the years, it's made you realize how to handle an adrenal situation, right?
Exactly.
And there's a lot of people out there, like, when you're saying that dude, or maybe even another woman who's pounding on on the hood of your car,
Yeah.
Saying "get out, get out," it gives you that clarity to realize or decide what you want to do.
Correct.
Do you drive off,
Mm-hmm.
or do you take the knife out of the sheath? It's it's one of those things. It's like and it must be even different, I guess, in states where you have carry laws, right? Where it's like, if you're going to carry, you need to learn how to train. I think if you need to train with that shit. Same thing with fighting. You can't.
Dude,
It's
I
not
live
just
in
going to come over to you.
Texas. I mean, we take guns to Denny's. This is different.
I remember when I was in Santa Fe, and I was driving somebody's car who was a cop, and I put my hand in the change tray, and it was full of 45 rounds. And I was like, "Hey, dude, is there a gun in your car?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, there's a couple. One under your seat. There's an AR in the." And I was like, "Dude, I'm a foreign national. I can get deported for this." But it was like normal.
Yeah.
It was like a keychain. I felt like it was like a keychain.
It is. It's the rule in Texas. You have to carry.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Dean? Got any questions?
No. You're doing good. No, I mean, I just just interesting her lens on women's self defense. I mean, the current model, I guess, or what's generally speaking, what's going on out there as far as the weekends, the 2 hour clinics and stuff. And I think some of them have, like we were talking about last weekend or last week. I think some of them have, most of them have good intentions. I believe that. I'm sure there's a few who are just doing it for the money and the quick bang, quick buck or whatever. But still, though, I truly believe it's an outdated model. And I think it's weaponized for sure with women's self defense. And I don't know if they're really willing to make that leap. I don't disagree in making it fun. I think absolutely. But I think there needs to be absolutely just integrity and honesty put into it, as opposed to, like you mentioned, like, okay, you're going to go there. They're going to give you 15 techniques of a headlock, of a front choke, and all this. And you're not going to remember that. And you can't practice what you don't remember.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they bring their friend. It's a day out of the house. And is it better than nothing? I suppose. I don't know.
I'm kind of scared of these people of false sense of security because, like you were saying, you need to pressure test things, you need to practice things, you need to do something 100 times in a row if you're ever going to remember it, right? Like Jason would say, you have to do something 1,000 times in a row. And I don't want women walking out of these classes thinking, well, I've got this, you know? I mean, I've been fighting for 10 years.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've got this in a situation. I mean,
I look at empty-handed guns tonight, what I see out there, they're thinking they're going to go off. And then I relate it to a woman who's being attacked. And, like, if it's not weaponized, how are they going to defend against that attacker when 99% of the male population is going to die as well against an attack? And so so if women's self-defense is not weaponized, how can you expect them to even have a chance? You know what I mean? So that's my
Well, I
line.
always tell people, I tell people the same thing. I'm a 200-pound psychopath who's fought most of his life. You know, what are you going to do? You know, you have to put me down hard, and you got to make sure that I stay down.
Stress inoculation, like how to deal with that encroachment. Like even, just like right there, creating good habits. Like I don't see enough emphasis put on the pre-violence. How did they get there?
right.
Like, okay, headlock defense. Okay, this is what you can do. Well, what about how, except with the exception in Renee's term, ambush? I mean, 1,000 things can be ambushed. I could jump out with an AK-47. Well, I guess I'm dying that day. You know, ambush is just too. It's just too much. I mean, too many possibilities in there. But I think it's still we could address like how they get there. You know, that's why I study like prison systems because they're their best at closing the gap. Their tactics are, I mean, depending on what system you're looking at, there's different tactics, but they do it very well. You know.
I agree. I think part of it too is you have to stop. You know, coming from someone who lives in Canada, you got to stop being polite. And when it comes to defending yourself, like shit, I saw it in the bars when I used to be a bouncer. It's just like someone grabs your hand that you don't want to talk to, you don't have to politely say, "Let go of my hand." You know, it's like fuck off. You know, like it bugs the hell out of me.
The hard thing for women now, I think, is being direct. Like a lot of women have learned
develop that self-assertion.
But there's a reason for that because they're afraid of retribution. They're afraid, well, even you can get punched in the face for not giving a guy your phone number. Okay, so a lot of women are just scared to look somebody in the eye and say, look, I'm not interested. Back off. And to say that with authority, they're scared. And so they think, well, maybe if I'm compliant, that'll work. Well, we know that doesn't work, especially with somebody that's going to attack you. You can be nice and compliant as can be. And, that's not going to guarantee that they're not going to rape or kill you, right? Yeah. So my mantra is, hey, he's going to hurt you anyway. Hit him hard enough to make his soul leave his body. You ruin his night. I mean, if you need a plan B, okay? If he's putting his hands on you, headbutt, gouge, elbow, knee,
Here's the other thing, too.
It's a nursery rhyme.
Male-dominated industry. In my opinion, you guys need to be part of it. Like, who the hell are we to say, like, okay, all right, we're going to do A through Z today. This first hour, we're going to cover such and such. Like, I think you guys need to be part of the formula. And when we get to the weapons, we get into value system or moral compass. We have to find what's their comfort level. Like, what are they willing to do? What are they, you know what I mean? Like, okay, well, in Texas, okay, gun, no issue. You know what I mean? It's legal. You don't have to go through hoops and hurdles like you do in Connecticut and all that. But a state where that could be difficult, then we have to find out their threshold, what they're comfortable with. Maybe it's not a knife because of the gore and all that, but maybe a tactical flashlight with edges on it. Maybe they're comfortable with that. So I just think it's a tough scenario, and I think it's very easy for males, not us because we're open-minded, for them to sit back. Well, this is the way it should be, and you should. I mean, like, I think those are the worst in my opinion.
But I think the real danger, though, is to give women the impression, okay, men are stronger than women. You can't fight back. So all you can do is hide or scream or not go walking out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that either.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I think there needs to be that self-insertion. Like they have to be absolutely, because if they don't deal with the introduction of a gradual stress inoculation, they're mentally they're going to fold, and
Right.
nothing's come out physically when this fractures up there. So it's a difficult thing. I think I don't know. Like I have ideas and answers, and I know what I do. I'm not saying it's the best model. I just know I'm not giving fairy tale land stuff out there. But I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough.
I think we could all basically agree then, like, one of the main things is an equalizer. You got to start training with some sort of equalizer when it comes to
100. Yeah. That I'll never change. I mean, come on now. Like, I have an older guy that works out with me. This guy's in phenomenal shape. His trained martial arts. He's 77. You can't believe the way he moves. And he knows at this point in his life, even despite the years of training and adhering to good habits and not letting anybody get close to him he doesn't know and all that, he is now starting to carry an equalizer around because he just knows. You know what I mean? So.
I'm all for it.
Agree.
I'm all for it. Like, honestly, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
it saved my ass.
I don't claim to have all the answers, but I know what's currently out there in the current industry. I think it's outdated. I do. You know what I mean? Not everybody. I wouldn't dare say that. But
and this is where I'll give Dean a plug with Piper and Blade Tech. It's very simple. There's no bullshit. It's the knife gets deployed, it gets inserted, and then the person walks away. It's nice doing business with you.
Yeah, I mean, I took the Blade Tech and I based a model off of women's defense. But here's the other thing too. They want to separate. Like I understand it's called women's self-defense to get the people in the door. But if you really think about it, it shouldn't be gender specific. I give the same information I do to guys I do to women.
Yep.
Don't let anybody get close you don't know. You got to put that fence up. You got to put that barrier halfway to target, halfway to defense. And then framing out, as you know, in Piper, to drawing and all that, depending on the weapon that they're comfortable with and where to access it, not a bomb your pocketbook, I tell them. But I get the same. I don't differentiate between the two. I think that's a whole nother issue, too,
Like, I've gotten every woman that I know to start carrying, a pocket chain knife. And just just have it in your hand when you're walking to your car.
Well, yeah, I don't
like a fidget spinner, and just work with it. Just as you're walking to your car, just have it in your hand, flick it in and out. Just get used to it. Because what are you going to do if something's in your purse? What are you going to be like? Excuse me, sir. Pause. I'm going to look through my purse for my weapon. Pause. No, it needs to be in your hand.
This is my keychain.
There you go.
And I literally, when I take this out before I get into the car, I hold my keys like this.
Yeah.
Because I found this is the quickest way for me to get into my car.
Yeah.
In case anybody's wondering. And I've flown with just these two keys on this. These two keys don't open anything, by the way. This is just my keychain. And it's surprising how easy I don't even completely loop it on my belt. It's always like half on because it's got a really tight spring. It's an actual climbing carabiner. I think they're like $30 on Amazon. I think you can get some of these. And because where I come from, any kind of brass rings are illegal. Plastic ones are not, which I can't quite figure out. But that's my keychain. And I still get nervous sometimes walking through places because sometimes you just don't know. I'm in the wrong neighborhood.
Right.
I live close to a city where a 14-year-old shot a 16-year-old in the head the other day over a bag of weed. It's just and I live out in the country now, and it just blows my mind that's so close to where I'm at.
A bag of weed is a bag of weed.
Yeah. So, but to lose your life over something like that, right? And 14-year-old, and in Canada, that's not a very common thing for a 14-year-old to pull out a gun and shoot somebody in the head over a bag of weed. So it's a sign of the time.
It's common here, and I think it's just kids that young really don't understand. I don't think they really understand the concept of life and death that well yet. Just their prefrontal cortex is still soft and gooey. They're just not there yet. And so we're seeing a lot of that in Austin as well. There's been a rash of shootings, and it's all 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and they don't know what they're doing.
So I think, dare I say, maybe that's part of the problem when it comes to self-defense seminars, that people don't look at the finality of what could happen to somebody who's taking this course or why they're there. Sometimes people just think it's the people who are bored at home decide to take a self-defense course, but there's people out there who actually want to or need it, right?
Right.
So I think maybe that's something that people should kind of start thinking about and realize, like, hey, I'm teaching somebody, and if they teach the wrong thing, they could get killed. And I don't think that happens a lot. I don't think that people have that approach when it comes to training or anything else. Like, even like for me, when it comes to stick fighting and I see what's being taught out there, I'm like, wow, that dude just taught that person to get his hand broken. Especially when they do the point before they hit. I love that. That's like, I'll take a plate of that any day. I think we may have gone off topic though. Thanks, Dean.
Wait, what are we talking about?
I think equalizers. That's the last thing I remember we're talking about.
I think it was equalizer.
So I'm not really familiar with U.S. law, though. Does that mean that if you teach somebody how to use a knife or something with a knife, then does that make you liable?
It depends on the state. All the states are different. Like, is it double edged? Is it switchblade? Is it assisted? Did they break the threshold? Like, for instance, I can only speak on Connecticut and a few other states that are local to me or next to me. But for instance, a guy can come up to my house. If he doesn't enter the threshold, he can, threaten whatever he's going to do to my family, yada, yada. If he doesn't break the threshold and I do something, I can be held liable.
What state are you in?
Connecticut.
Connecticut, okay.
Yeah. It can't be double-edged. It can't be longer than, I think, 3.5 inches. Can't be assisted. No switchblades. Like that. So in other words, a big thing I talk about too, and again, I don't differentiate between the genders, but like, first of all, know your law. So whatever you're carrying is legally defensible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just making that good start. You know what I mean? Like, you're carrying around a buck knife in Connecticut, you get pulled over. And if you had to use that, God forbid, in this liberal state, it's not even legally defensible. You're going to get nailed right from the get-go.
See, this in Canada is so ridiculous because you
guys are worse than us.
Oh, actually, no. We can carry a 14-inch bowie as long as it's visible.
How much?
Right.
You can carry a sword if you want, as long as it's visible.
Right.
But the second you throw your like, for example, if you have a long T-shirt and it goes over your pocket knife, now it's concealed. So that's the big thing, is you can't have a
food is concealed.
Correct.
Well, California has really, really stiff laws too, and I've had trouble like packing when I go to gatherings because maybe we want to practice in the park, before we fight, and you can't carry what's considered a club in California. There's just and I always travel with like 20 knives. I have to leave half of them at home because half of them are automatic. California is really stiff on weapons, unlike Texas, where we have the castle doctrine. We have stand your ground laws, and you can carry just about anything.
The southern states are significantly different than the northeastern states.
They're trying to pass castle laws here in Canada.
Yeah.
Because for a while there, the chief of police was saying, hey, just leave your car keys by the front door, so if someone breaks in, that's all they'll take.
I still can't believe that when you say that.
I don't know if I believe that. I have to see that.
Oh, I'll send you the video clip. Meanwhile, I have a magnet on my back door.
You guys are screwed, Jim.
For me,
doing
it's like
Australia is like, I think they took their guns away, and I don't know wherever else is going on down there, but. Yeah,
I think in Australia, can they even hunt now there? I don't think so.
Yeah, you take a society's guns away, and guess what's coming next?
That'll get rid of their empowerment.
Yeah.
Such a good word.
So have you actually no? There's something else I wanted to touch on, which kind of I just remembered now. One of the things too, which I get really sick and tired of watching, is in these self defense videos and people who are like crazy athletic,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh yeah, why should you do a push up?" And they're like on two fingers, doing all this stuff, and this is how I can teach you to become, how to defend yourself. And it's like, no, I think you got to be able to teach people who are the couch potato, or are not as athletic, or are injured, or have some sort of disability, right?
But I mean, that's influencer culture, and those are the people that are going to get viral and get likes because nowadays it's almost like you have to be this aspirational, figure if you're going to get seen online, and so it's really kind of ruined things. So yeah, you're seeing a lot of that now. Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of AI, which is going to really ruin things for all of us in martial arts. Because I'm already seeing it. I know you are too, where you're seeing these faux encounters that are AI generated. People in knife fights or knife disarms or
I mean,
whatever.
MMA discussion is just in the last 6 months has just been like,
And
Yeah.
I've made a lot of videos of Dean with AI too.
yes,
No, it's true. It's crazy. There's a person that we used to know, I think, back in the day where Arlen lives, and it's the same thing. That guy's become like a huge influencer, and he's like, and the stuff he teaches. I sit there and I'm like, you're not a bad martial artist, but what is the shit that you're teaching?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Not everybody should teach.
no,
Not everybody's good to teach. I
back
mean,
when I was coming up, like, you had to go through an apprenticeship program, and it could take years. And
sure.
like I refused my apprenticeship at first just because I was still a shit disturber, and I didn't want to, have anything bad happen towards the club, because if something bad happened, I would get kicked out and I couldn't train there anymore. But now, like, there's weekend courses people can go to and become certified in whatever, right? I think Dean's trying to choke himself out.
no, I'm just making sure I got through. I didn't miss a question or comment as well. And I think I'm good. Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't believe in training. I think it's woke. I just see red.
It's what now?
I said training is woke. I just see red. That's my method. I'm just kidding. I
Oh,
don't.
okay. Because I found those words empowering. I'm just trying to see how many times I can say it.
Yeah. Oh,
So what's next then? Like, what have you ever thought about maybe teaching a course, or getting people out there?
I have. Do you know Cholo Dog? He just moved to Austin to be here with Sadie St. Clair, who's also a fighter. She's probably going to make dog this year. And, we've all kind of talked about maybe teaching a course. I would love to teach maybe women's self-defense, but not a workshop, like something continuous. I'm not up on all the laws and all that, but I would love to teach some bladed weapons. 'Cause that's my thing. That's my passion. So, yeah, for sure.
Have you ever checked out any of the Piper stuff at all?
I'm not a fight nerd.
You should check out that dude's stuff there with the knife. It was funny when first time to like this disarm somebody, and I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, that bullshit's never gonna work on me. And then he pulled it off, and I was like, that really pissed me off, and I was trying harder, and then it's like it started to hurt. I was like, all right, so maybe he's got something.
Cholo Dog is an insane person. I fully agree.
I think him and Matt Berry, don't they have like a ongoing feud or something? Not a positive.
No, they love each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I guess competition amongst them.
for sure.
I thought that was Matt Berry and Paulo Rubio or something.
Future. I don't know.
I just
I think that's
I was
getting
just
buried.
I just
That's just
enjoy watching
buried.
those people go back and forth.
I think
All right,
he
Chris. So
finagled his
what's
way
next
out.
for Christina then? Are you when you fighting next?
Oh God, I think if I can, I just got injured fighting with Cholo. We were fighting in the park and we were doing BJJ and we were probably going at 30%. And I went in for a guillotine and we both went down and I hit a rock. I landed on a rock on my hip
That's awesome.
and I tore a muscle. And so I'm actually recovering from that. So, I mean, hopefully September, we'll see. So, and definitely Canada again, because I had a great time in Canada in February. Love Canada.
Yeah,
But gonna keep
I
fighting.
think Europe's going to be the. If I fight again, it will be Europe.
Yeah, Germany.
Yeah, they're doing them.
God, I hope so. Yeah.
September. Actually, I think the gathering in Canada is in a couple weeks, 10 days.
Three concessions of defending myself, martial artist for 50 years.
Yeah, Brent's a good guy.
Oh, so I'll tell you a story about being old in martial arts, being a geezer. Y'all can probably relate. So, like, being a woman in martial arts, like after 50, people don't get it. It does not compute, you know. So I don't even tell people that I do martial arts anymore because of the confused looks that I get, because they think I should be on the couch drinking wine and like watching The View, right? And a few years ago, this woman shows up to a Dog Brothers Open. I didn't see her, I just heard about it. And all these dogs came up to me the next day and they were like, "Hey, Christina, you got to check this woman out. She's amazing." I'm like, "Cool. Is she a good fighter?" "No." "Okay. Is she like athletic?" And they're like, "Not really." And I'm like, "So what's the deal? Why is she a big deal?" And they're like, "Well, because she's an older woman." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she's like old, like, you know, like Denny's discount old, right? And I'm like, "How old is she?" And they're like, "She's 54." I'm like, "Motherfucker, I'm 52. Okay?" I hear you talking about me like Grandma Moses. I will kill you. Like, God.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about the Dawn Brothers, because I never looked at people by age. You know, like Roger Whistle, like he was in his 60s, went out there, fought like a demon. Arlen knocked me out when he was in his 60s. Um, Eric Knaus,
Yeah, yeah.
dangerous individual, and I think he's like 70.
Amazing.
He's in his 70s,
Yeah.
but he's still a dangerous individual, and I think that's the difference. Is also, I think we look at age differently now, and I always go back to this. You know, the guy from Cocoon. Who's that? Okay, all right. The guy from Cocoon, the guy, the diabetes guy. That guy was 47 years old when they filmed that.
Wilford Brimley. Yeah.
He was 47 when they filmed that.
Things are different now.
Like, look at Dean. He's 82 years old. You would not know he's 82.
You look amazing. You were such an inspiration.
Yes. How did you say it was?
Yeah, and you know, it's all about having a morning regiment and an evening regiment. Is what I've been told. Using the proper soaps and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Dean? What is your secret?
My secret?
Yes.
To sanity, or to continue doing these shows? I mean, what my secret regarding what?
Just your longevity. Like, you know, you look so young for your age.
I attribute to Italian good genes, olive oil. I could give you a bunch of different things.
It's the water in Connecticut, I think, too.
I can guarantee you it's not that. Nothing to do with the water. Nothing.
Proper supplements, yes.
You know,
All
you
right.
just gotta keep at it. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't use it, you lose it. I mean, I refuse to look at my age to be the defining measure.
I stopped
Um,
using a comb a long time ago.
was I thought it was brain damage.
But my daughter just came up to me and asked me to make more burgers, so I'm gonna have to get going soon. Is there anything you guys want to close off with?
No, I would just maybe we close out with like, what are your future goals? Like, it doesn't have to be just stick fighting, just anything martially related.
Well, what I was thinking. No, oh, sorry, I'm keeping Chris.
Gee, Renee. I mean,
Her goals, Renee.
yes, Eric. Thank you. The supplements. That's true, Eric.
Uh, probably just I just want to keep on taking fights that I love, and I would eventually, I'd like to see the direction that Dog Brothers is moving, and I like to see it integrating more towards women. I think that when I started, it wasn't quite as integrated. They weren't really allowing men and women to fight, but that's changing a little bit, and that makes me really happy. And I just want to see where it goes, and I want to go along with it, and just keep on enjoying my passion for hitting people with sticks and knives. That's my goal. So that's where I am right now.
You should think about doing a women's because you can tap into not only the adrenaline rush but also the realism of that conflict and their. I mean, I would be pretty well suited to do it. You know what I mean? My only suggestion would be what Renee mentioned. I just feel just from that looking at the prison systems and the reverse engineering of them. There's some really good stuff in there. It wouldn't appear outside looking in. It wouldn't appear to be good stuff. But if you really take an intrinsic look at it and reverse engineer, there's some really good stuff in there. I think that's great for women. You know?
Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, it's
Well,
definitely.
yeah, man. Like if you're gonna protect yourself against bad people, you got to see what the bad people are doing, not what the good people are doing. I hate to say it, it's like
It's
it's
true though. Like,
It's true.
what are they doing? Like, what are these criminals doing? Right? I mean, it's worth the study. You know, how they close proximity. What are their tricks? You know what I mean? And looking at two steps, one step. You know, what they do two steps out. What do they do one step out? You know what
And
I
if,
mean?
if you're a nice, person that follows the rules, you're probably not going to know what those things are. You're not going to know how a criminal moves. And so that would be good to learn. That absolutely would be good to learn
Yeah.
because it's not going to occur to you, you know?
No, because it happens very quickly, and part of the whole thing is distracting you. You know what I mean? Before you know it, they're right in. Your reactionary gap is going to be compromised because you can let them get this close. You know what I mean? So recognition and reactionary gap is going to be like really tough at that point. You know?
yeah.
Yeah, it's,
I always say it's like if you want to learn knife defense and stuff like that, or think about knife defense, look at knife attack videos. I went down a rabbit hole with that, and some of it was just pure evil.
that is my entire YouTube algorithm, by the way, is knife fights. Of course. I love watching them. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
For me, it's people being attacked with edge weapons, swarmings, and gypsy wedding fails. To me, that's and taxidermy fails too. That shit's awesome. That's what I go to sleep to.
Yeah.
Um, so that's my algorithm.
Keep it spicy.
You have to. You have to. At my age, come on.
Whatever works.
Awesome. All right. Anything in closing, Dean, Christina, before
No,
I
no. Thank you for
before I
coming
go
on.
back on the grill?
Thanks for
You're
having me.
welcome, Dean. I'll do this every 2 weeks for you. No problem.
Renee, that's really nice of you, and I appreciate that. The comments were great. A lot of people chimed in. Yeah, no, I think it was a great show, and thank you. Yeah, thank
If
you.
you get a chance, Christina, watch episode 355. It changed my life.
As well as many others.
Cool.
There's a whole people out there, just the people teaching courses on it now. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
guys.
See you
Hope to
guys.
see you soon
Be
again.
good.
Take care.
Bye. You got to cruise, right? Oh, you got to go cook boogers.
No, I don't want to go.
Oh, I think your daughter has a different plan. So.
Oh, she's already like, you guys didn't see. She snuck up by my chair and just started saying burgers.
You can't deny her.
No, and I already made a whole bunch.
How can you deny that little girl?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool show.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, next week I think Nick said he would come on. You could ask him anything and he'll answer. So I'm like, that could be somewhat interesting. He is willing. Said he would answer anything.
Okay.
So I don't know. But if you got somebody, I told him I didn't know if we had anybody else in the works, but I told him it'd be relatively pretty soon. So
Cool. Yeah, we got to get Brent Pierce back on.
yes, Brent, whenever you're ready. Yeah.
And also Eric, got to get back on chatting about supplements.
Just laugh. Yeah. I like to bring Eric on, and he can talk about his broken rhythm. It's he has organic broken rhythm. He's just kind of
as a dancer, or
I think it's purely organic. He just dare I say, I don't know. It's kind of the running joke. Eric's broken rhythm is, if he's still watching, he might perhaps can explain in more detail. But yeah, certainly if Brent wants to come on, absolutely. Anybody for that matter, really. It might be neat, something we haven't covered, and I don't know a lot about it. I know a little about it only through JKD. Somebody that's maybe fluent or can at least speak on it. Sabat. That might be interesting.
it's about what? Oh, Sabat?
Yeah. My life is broken rhythm. Oh my god.
All right, cool.
All right,
I'm
awesome.
gonna make.
Enjoy yourself, yeah, and then we'll as always, if you're watching, we'll let you know what is coming up. All right, say hello to the family.
Will do. Talk to you.
Sounds good. That wraps up 46. So yeah, there'll be something on next week. I'm not sure, but as always, it'll be posted in FMA discussion, and you can check out this Sunday. I think Dog Brothers, Mark Denny's doing a summer camp in California. Yes. And so just to give some attention to that, I think he's coming on Sunday night at 7. So if you want to check that out, yeah, perfect. Yeah, perfect. All right, guys. Thank you for those who jumped in, and I will see you next time. If I don't see you, happy 4th.